Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Cities Skylines 2, where we are in the city of Tampere. And today we are going to be building out a large train station over in this section. And so my hope is to get a nice park. I want to get some, outside connections in. We don't have any commuter train at the moment, and so I felt like this was just a really good time to kind of jump in. I did let the game run for quite a while after Economy 2.0. There was a few little tweaks that I had to go through. That's why I couldn't get a video out a little bit sooner. Mods were just giving me issues, and then I was getting some freezing issues with some of the menus as well. But thankfully, all of the things are fixed now. And one of the big things, you are going to experience some death waves. It is just something that you kind of have to deal with in the game. And you can kind of see we're still in the aftermaths of one, largely leveled out. And you do get some of these issues as well, where it says no car access. What I found does help is to just relocate these buildings, and then it gets rid of it. I'm not really sure what's causing those problems, but for some reason, just some buildings in particular have those pedestrian read problems. Like it might just have something to do with the sub buildings or something like that. They do tend to get fixed though, so once you click them back, it's all good. I did end up having to place a couple more of the crematoriums as well, just to kind of deal with some of the demand we had. And then I was kind of playing around with some of our broader ideas. I'm really excited about some of the things we're going to do. We need to incorporate the city hall. I really want to get a second downtown kind of over here. I feel like it's just going to be a really good location, and it is something that you do see in cities as well. Then we're going to start playing around with some of this coastline as well, and some of this coastline. And so go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed already. It really helps the channel out a lot, and it helps you to stay on track so you don't miss any of the videos. Let's go ahead and jump right in. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to be getting a little crazy. We're going to pause, and we are actually going to trim back this road all the way. And we're going to be causing a lot of frustration in people in here. A lot of these people have been in this area for a really long time. And so if this project were to happen in real life, it would probably entail the government having to purchase all of this land, because this is just a ton of land. This would be really expensive. But the total economic impact of something like this would just be astronomical. Adding in rail is just such a good option. I want to put it in here, but what we need to do is connect it up with the rail line over there. And we do have one of our metro lines. And so what I'm thinking is if we could get it like right down here, it's going to really provide us enough room to be able to kind of delete a lot of this, do a big plaza. I really want to turn this into something fun for a lot of the people. So let's go ahead and extend across that road now. We're going to grab this, have it go all the way across, and we do need to kind of clean up some of the roads in here. Don't worry, we're going to come back through and pretty much delete a lot of this. We're going to try our best anyways to keep anything that we don't need to delete. And so let's go ahead and get rid of that. That was from the last episode. We can go ahead and hit play. We're going to have a little bit of issues with this. Let's go ahead and remove the zoning, but I think it would just be more realistic if we were to let the game kind of run while we're doing this, rather than just keeping it paused, especially since all those citizens are going to have to now find new jobs and stuff. So let's go back into our transportation tab, go into the double rail tracks. So what we want to do, this is going to be a little bit tight, and so we definitely want to, we're going to start from the outside. I feel like this is probably just going to be a little bit easier, but what we can potentially do, yeah, that actually looks pretty good right there. And so let's check that out from the ground just to see. I mean, we definitely got clearance, but we want to make sure that this doesn't look incredibly unrealistic. Because of the grade, it would definitely be a little bit of a challenge for some of these trains, but I think that they'd be able to make that. And so let's go ahead and connect this up now. We want to keep it at a 180. Let's go like that. And let's go ahead and connect this one up as well. We'll keep it at a 180, only a 1.3% grade. That is fantastic. And then for this side, let's go ahead and do the same thing. We're going to keep that freeform tool. We're going to go straight. And then let's begin to go down just a little bit, because we do need to clear that road that I definitely would prefer to have that road continue across. That was a pretty important connection for us. So if we go like that, I mean, 4.6 isn't terrible. Is it, the greatest? Not really. I do wish that it was a little bit better, but I think this may either be too low or too high. What we're going to do, we're going to pause real quick because we're going to have to get rid of this road. Let's actually unpause just so that we can let these people kind of figure it out on their own. Delete this little top section. It's giving us some issues. And I am having a little bit of a problem with my Weather Plus app. For some reason, it's just not reading what I'm trying to have it do. So it's set at 32 degrees, and the mod developer is aware of this. But if we go into weather settings, I have it set to 72. So I wonder if we can maybe set custom precipitation to 0 and see if that maybe gets rid of the snow that's coming. It doesn't. And so we may just have to deal with snow for a couple episodes, which kind of sucks. I'm not too excited about the snow, but sooner we get through it, the sooner it'll be done. We will now come up this way. Let's go ahead and lock it up now. Yeah, that looks good right there. We got a pretty good connection. We did mess up our trains again, but honestly, I think that that's going to be okay. And so for this side, what we're going to do is probably just have it go in if we can. Let's go ahead and have it just go down. Yeah, that is an insane slope. We probably don't want to do that. What we could do as well is potentially just have this as a through street and then use these as like a rail yard of some kind, like a smaller rail yard. So if we went all the way up to like right there, and then let's go ahead and do it on the same side. Yeah, you know what? I think that looks good, because then what it does is it allows us to bring this road across, because this road is a pretty important connection for us. We really don't want to forget about that. And then this 6-lane road is a super important connection for us. We definitely need that back. And there we go. You know what? I think that actually looks pretty good. It does look like we got a little bit of clipping on the ground right here. So what I'm going to do is move it and just go up one. And then we can go through and just get rid of these trees that got on the road. So let's go ahead and check out our upgrades real quick. So let's go ahead and upgrade that. We definitely want the platforms. I really like that. Let's see if we can even get our subway. So we do have a subway line that does go underground. I'm wondering if there's going to be really any benefit. We have a stop right there. Don't think there's going to be a huge benefit for us to actually get a stop in here unless we get it into a different line of some kind. Like if we could potentially get it into that red line, that could be good. That could be really good. Don't know how we're going to do that with this other line right there. So I think for right now, we're going to say no to the metro line. We're going to do the taxi stop because that's beneficial. And then we're going to do the small shops because that helps to increase the comfort and overall attractiveness. And so while people are waiting for the trains, they're just a little bit happier. And it makes it so that people are more likely to use the train station as well, which is nice. So now let's go into our transportation tab, go into our passenger rail tool, and we want to get a couple outside connections for this. So we did kind of miss this turn right here, which does suck a little bit, but I'm wondering if maybe we could just go all the way down here and get that connection. That could be good. It is going to be intermingled with our cargoes. We definitely we want to be mindful of that because train traffic can become a really big deal. And for some reason, it's still having it go out of town. I don't know why it's having that do that. Let's go ahead and back up. Let's see if we can. So no, let's see where the problem is. So the problem is definitely the rail yard, because there's not a bypass in the rail yard that's actually not going to let the passenger service go through it. This is very frustrating. This is something that I had previously thought, but cargo rail actually can go through. And so I decided to build this whole new station initially because I was going to delete this. But then after kind of seeing the cargo go through, I was like, you know what, maybe they can go through. But it does look like passenger rail is not allowed to go through the rail yard as transit, which does suck. So let's go ahead and see about creating a connection in here. I wonder if we can just have this kind of loop around and create a double connection. So if we go into freeform tool, let's go ahead and try to make that at 180 if we can. Yeah, like right about there. And then we want to turn off anarchy just to kind of see what this is going to give us. So there's really no change in elevation, and then it's a negative 2% decline, which really isn't that bad. And then what we can do is have it loop over here. We want to make sure that we don't have a crazy big drop. Yeah, 2%. That's actually not too terrible. We'll go ahead and go just like that. And then what we can do is connect it up right there. Fantastic. So what that did was it gave us that crossing now. And so this does have connection right there, and this does have connection going across, and this other road. This other line has a connection coming this way as now, which is also good. So maybe if there was like a backup on this road or something, they could take this road. Could potentially even delete that now that they have this one, but I think that's pretty good. I don't really like the clipping that seems to be happening right here, but I think we're just going to pretend like that's not happening for the moment. And then let's go back to our passenger rail, go like this, and then let's bring this all the way out here. Did I still keep that other rail line, or is that a cargo line? I wonder if it's gone back to where it's no longer, yeah, you know what? It's not allowing the cargo to go through here. So we're definitely going to have to change that, because that's a huge problem. We need the cargo to be able to go through there. So let's go ahead and create this line, and then let's go ahead and create a line going the opposite direction as well off of that same platform. So we're going to go just like this, and then let's have it kind of meander all the way through here and connect up with this city. And this is really going to help with those taxis, because I would assume that people would not want to pay for a taxi over train service. But you never know. Maybe there are people out there that would prefer to do that. And so it does look like we stopped the precipitation too, which is nice. The snow disappeared. And it's kind of funny with the Weather Plus app, it's kind of stuck at 32 degrees Fahrenheit, which is pretty low. This is about 0, I think it's 0 degrees Celsius, so it's cold, freezing temperatures. But for some reason, I think it still says 72. Like, we'll have to look out for the chirpers and see what people say. All this leisure time, we could really use some more residential buildings. Because what will happen is you'll get a lot of information from your citizens in here, like, oh, I'm loving the weather, or people are starting to die or something like that, then you'll end up getting a notification down here. So it's really good to pay attention to those. But anyways, let's go back here and we're going to have to get rid of this. There's just really, because in order to do a bypass, this is going to create such a headache. I wonder if maybe we could figure out some bypass. This is such a big area. So what we're going to do? We're going to create a loop around for this cargo terminal. This is kind of what I was already planning on doing before. And so this actually kind of this reverts back to what the initial plan was for me on the last episode. So we will bring this back now. Let's go ahead and get rid of these lines. All right, so just a few seconds later, I am finished. And so this is definitely going to cause some problems. What we need to do is have this turn around. It's going to help us kind of fill up some of this space. We're actually going to get rid of these 2 parking lots. I believe we can keep that one, but we'll have to kind of see. And so now what we want to do, we want to bring that all the way back, and we're going to go into the transportation tab, grab our double train tracks, and we need this to start going underground. Yeah, we need it to go down, and this is definitely going to be, we don't want it, so -2 is not bad. Yeah, there you go. So we're going to stick it like that. And then what we're going to do is come all the way this way. And then we need to trim this back just a little bit. We don't need to go back too far. We just need to go back far enough to where the slope isn't going to be too extreme for this train. Especially for cargo, like they have a lot of tonnage. And so having them climb up some crazy incline would just take a long time. Trains can go up pretty steep inclines, but they go up very slow. And so it's something that if we can avoid it, it's always better. Now that we have that though, what we can do is grab this, come all the way down here, and then we are going to try to get 2 90s. We're getting pretty close. 2 90s right there. Fantastic. And then we can begin to bring this down. And again, we don't want any sort of crazy, so 2.7 is not bad. So we'll go just like that. And then we'll dump it in. And so this definitely does take up a lot of the space in here. I do wish that maybe we could make it a little bit better. I wonder if maybe we could make this tighter. It's just, you normally don't see really tight train lines, like train turns. Like I just don't know. But go ahead and let me know in the comments down below if it is something where, you can make this tight of a turn. I generally don't think that it's something that is as realistic, but you never know. Another thing we are going to want to do is upgrade this. We definitely want this to be 2 tracks, because this is going to help us to have a little bit of a backup, especially since I did end up putting in 2 of our lines in here. So we want the lines that are going left to be on this side, and we want the lines that are going the opposite direction to be on the opposite side. Like you see how this one is turning around. We don't want that line in here. Like we want it to be on this side, because you see how it's not highlighting this up there. That means it's not coming back. We're going to create a little bit of a hiccup in our train system, but honestly, this should end up working out a lot better. I'm going to go ahead and flip these as well. So let's grab this, flip it around, grab this, flip it around. And then let's go ahead and just place in a couple small industrial areas. We're not going to get crazy and just zone the whole thing. I would prefer there to just be a few kind of smaller ones maybe. We'll do one bigger one, go like this. And then that way we can maybe even do like small yards or parking lots of some kind in between them. And I think that this just kind of helps it to look a little bit more realistic. I'm kind of playing around with a bunch of different designs in this game. And it's definitely, it's a lot different than CS1. To make it look realistic. And so I think that is going to be good right there, because it's going to allow us to kind of put some trees in there and then even make some custom yards, like do some fencing and stuff like that. And so I'm hoping that right there should fix most of our cargo problems. So if we go into the info panel, go into our transportation, which is this little bus, let's go ahead and grab a train and then go over to cargo. And then let's see what is happening with this. So this one has 0% usage. I don't know why, like what's going on with these is there just no cargo waiting. So I'm thinking we just don't even need that line. So let's go ahead and we're just going to get rid of that one because it's got 3 trains anyways. Like why do we even need that? So it looks like it's rebalancing. Let's go ahead and let it run for a second. So we're definitely experiencing a shortage in rail now, and so I'm tempted to even put in another rail yard right across from this. It could be smart, and this is a really big section of rail anyway, so I'm thinking maybe that would be the smartest thing to do. All right, so just a few seconds later, I got that rail yard in, and honestly, I think this whole little section looks cool. I think we may end up doing like an industrial park or something back here to kind of clean it up. But more importantly, I let it run for a little while to optimize the cargo lines. And so now if we go into the transportation tab, go into cargo, we can see that these are all back up and running pretty good. It would be smart though, like some of these smaller ones, like especially this one's only got 18% usage with 4 trains. So like if we hit the little hourglass, we can kind of see just, what's going on over here. So we have a lot of cargo going from the cargo train terminal. I think this is just inner city cargo. So it's not really a ton of cargo, but it is serving a purpose, and that purpose is getting those trucks off the street. So I don't know if we're going to actually drop that one down. I did end up dropping one down though, because it had 4 and neither destination had a lot of cargo. And so I felt like it was just going to make a lot more sense to kind of drop it down. So now that we have that, finally, we have enough trains. We have our 2 destinations coming in here. We have this one going over there, and we have this one going back. We actually have this one coming this way. I feel like we should definitely get another one going, especially since we have the rail lines now. Let's go ahead and grab this, and we're going to come all the way back. We want to make sure we passenger. We want to come this way now, and we want this one to connect up. Yeah, this is just going to be really good. And then what we're going to do is actually go through and name these after the cities that they go to, so like the destination. So we'll go into the info pane, go into transportation, grab our train, transportation. So line 1 is the white one. So the white one comes all the way back, and what we can do is just kind of hover over this. So this one is Gilling. So we'll want to do Gilling line, and then we will do the pink one now. So we know the pink one comes this way. Let's go ahead and hover over this. So Cloutier. So we will do Cloutier line. And then let's go ahead and check out that brown one now. Maybe let's change the color. Let's go to like that, kind of sea green or something. And then we can come all the way over here. So Fort Johnson. Johnson line. Perfect. Nice. And so now, and you can see even this, the Gilling line right now is our most utilized, which is awesome to see. Those are all citizens that would probably be taking taxis. And we could probably even bump this up, but I think 2 for right now is probably good. We really want to limit all these taxis coming in and out. Like it'd be smart for us to even get a rail line coming this way. We do have this connection though, and so I'm hoping that this is really going to help this out a lot. Like you see all these taxis, this is just crazy. I'm wondering if maybe even getting a train line over here would be good. Let's go ahead and do it. This is kind of off the cuff. I wasn't really anticipating this, but honestly, looking at all the rail traffic, I think that this is just going to make a lot of sense back here. So let's actually trim this back just a bit, and then let's go into our 4 lane. Let's go ahead and get it to go just curve a little bit, and then let's go ahead and go. It looks like we definitely didn't put it far enough back. Yeah, so that's gonna be an issue. So let's go ahead and go just like this, and then that way we can come in here, draw in our line. Fantastic. And then let's go ahead and just trim this back a bit, and then we can have this one kind of curve in to give it a little bit of interest. That's pretty extreme. I wonder if we can make that just a little bit better. It's always better, if you're coming from a slope, you kind of want to come from the place of height, just because it allows you to control those curves a little bit better. So if you come in this way, let's go ahead and drop that step down. Drop it down by 2, maybe go to 5 meters. All right, and just a few seconds later, I am finished. And it's kind of funny, I ended up having to delete it and replace it because it was on a huge hill. I didn't really look at the overall slope of all this, and so it's creating a lot of problems. And it's kind of funny, you can see one of our cargo lines is now using this as a turnaround, which really isn't the end of the world. If they want to come down here and kind of turn around, it's not going to destroy anything for us. But now what we can do is go into passenger rail line, and let's actually grab this pink line, and let's go to the closest. Yeah, we'll go just like that, and then let's grab that pink one as well. Perfect. And so that's going to do two things. It's going to provide inner city travel from here all the way over to here, but then it's going to allow people coming in from Clutier to come over here, which hopefully is going to cut back on our overall traffic. So I did end up doing the subway line in here, so I think what we're going to do, we can come down here. Let's go underground now. Remember, it's about 20 meters down. And I think we can, if we go into freeform, yeah, we should be able to just connect this one up. This would be fantastic. This would be a really good connection for us. And a few seconds later, I got it done. And we did end up kind of destroying a little bit of our neighborhood over here. What I'm going to try to do now is just reform it. It's going to have to go up, which is going to really kind of create some problems for us. But even if there's a little bit of a hilly terrain in here, I'm not worried about it. This is something that does sometimes have to happen within cities, and then actually kind of gives us a little bit of character too, which I think is kind of cool. This is definitely a problem though. We're going to have to get rid of this. So I wonder if now maybe we can get like a park or something in here. Yeah, this is definitely kind of a problem. I wonder if we bring this brush size down, we might be able to go just like that. And then that way we might be able to get some of the zoning back. I'm going to go ahead and take off the zoning off of this little section. Fantastic. And better yet, we extended our metro line over here. So let's go ahead and bring it all the way back here. And then we do need to come all the way up over here and reconnect up our two lines, our two stops. Fantastic. And so what I'm hoping is now that we have connected this up, and given there's not really a lot around it, and so this is still going to create a little bit of an issue for the taxis. Like, this isn't super convenient for a lot of people. I think as we expand this area out, this is really going to help us to kind of mitigate this. Like, this is just crazy. So I wonder if, let's get rid of this light first off and just get these people kind of going through, because this is just crazy, the amount of taxis that are coming over here. Let's go back over to the main area now. All right, and so let's come back over here. And the idea, I really want to create like a big plaza in front. So we are going to just pause for a second. We do want to keep the game running as long as we can. So we're going to go just like this. And then let's go ahead and create, I wonder if maybe we can even trim it back one more. No, we'll keep it like that. And then let's go ahead and utilize this plaza first. And then I want to do something similar to what we had done before. So we're going to have kind of an open space where they have food trucks and stuff like that. Like, this would, be a destination for people. And so kind of getting off the train yard and having food and stuff available would be a really nice amenity. And it is something that you do see a lot in cities. And that's one of the keys to getting transportation to work out well a lot of times is just getting proper amenities within reach. So like if you have transportation with nothing around it, then it tends not to do as well. And it's rightly so. There's nothing around it. Why are people going to go there? Especially in America, they design transportation for you to drive your car to it. So I think with that, we're going to come in with some pretty cool little things. And then I think we may even fill it in with high density commercial for the rest. I'm kind of tempted. I wonder if we go like this, go like that, go like this, go like that. And then just to kind of see, because there's enough space in the middle for me to do concrete and to do some stalls and stuff. So I'm like, if we get some more shops in here, this would probably be better. Yeah, so if we go like that, go like this, you can see all the poor people that just lost all their jobs. They're just waiting for taxis now, which is just terrible. But we have our metro. Where's our metro? Our metro's over here. So that's actually not too bad. It's a little bit of a walk, but it's not the end of the world. And then let's get this connected up. Go just like that, because they can come into the platform from that direction too, which is super beneficial. And then let's check this out just to kind of see what we're working with. Did I do North American? So you know what, let's do North American for the mixed use. I just think it tends to look a little bit better. So let's kind of check that out. I like these ones. I think these are good little buildings in here, especially once we get some trees and kind of extend that concrete out. It's going to look really good. Let's go ahead and create a crosswalk with one of these stops. I think this is going to be huge for us. Yeah, let's go ahead and get another one in there as well. Yeah, there we go. Because we want to try to provide access over here. We want as many people as possible to use this. So we got 130. Let's go ahead and check out these lines again. Go to the info panel, go into transportation, go into trains, public transport. So, they're definitely bumping up. The Gilling line is definitely the winner so far. The Fort Johnson line has 4 trains and only 23 passengers. Let's go ahead and check that out just to see if there's people waiting, and it looks like there is not. It's kind of interesting. We had a lot of taxis coming from there too, which is kind of a little frustrating. I wonder if maybe if we drop this down, because this kind of plays into the budget with Economy 2.0, and so you do want to pay attention to that stuff. What's funny, all of our buildings are leveled up so high, our tax income is huge. When I first unlocked the city, we had our taxes at 5%, and so I had bumped it up to 10. And then I am using the 523 mod, the 529 tiles, and I have the tile upkeep multiplier down to 10% because it's just the tile upkeep when you have all the tiles unlocked is astronomical, something that we just couldn't do. So this is looking pretty good. And I like that we got this other station in here. I'm thinking we should at least get something over here to kind of draw in people's attention, though it does look like we're getting a lot of people over here. I wonder if maybe we should get a parking lot. Let's go ahead and add in just I'd like to get this medium-sized one if we can get it. Then that way we can provide a little bit more parking in this area as well. It looks like this is definitely turning into a pretty big stop for us, and so this is actually fantastic to see. And it really should help out with traffic in this area. Alright, so I think this is looking pretty good. I would like to get in a couple other small assets in here just because this would be a central location, and I want to say that they would have some of the bigger buildings. We need to kind of unlock some of our buildings. So if we go into milestones, let's see what we don't have locked still. So I definitely want to do the Disease Control Center and the Health Research Institute, and I think the Health Research Institute's actually going to look really good in this location. Unlock the Geological Research Center. So now let's go ahead and delete this. And what I'm thinking is we can possibly get one of these bigger buildings in here. And I think this is just going to really help us to capture a cool look. And that's really what I'm trying to go for. Is this is, a huge center. We got these kind of buildings. I don't think that these look good. I'm wondering if we're just going to do a custom plaza in there. I don't think that looks great like that. I want to get this building in here if we can. Yeah, that would be great. Look at that. Especially with this plaza. This is just going to look fantastic. It does look like we need to upgrade our tram lines though, so let's go tram. Let's get this in there. And so now we have put this in here. We got this. Let's go ahead and upgrade some of these buildings around here. I definitely want to get some North American mixed use. So let's go ahead and go like this. I think we can probably keep those. Maybe if we do larger North American asset in there, it's just going to look a little bit better. Yeah, I think that this is going to look good. And let's go ahead and go over here as well. So let's do some North American mixed use. We'll go just like that. Let's go ahead and do the whole bit as North American. Maybe this one bit is a North American high density, just because they're a little bit more square, and so they tend to look a little bit better. And then I'm kind of looking at these buildings as well. I don't think having a bunch of the same building in there is going to be good. I think this bit of low density is okay. I think these little bits of low density are good. And then we do have this room back here as well. I think we'll end up putting in some office space back here because I think that's what was back here already. So if we go like that, just because of the rail line as well, I don't think, having anything else back there is going to be that great. Though I wonder if let's go ahead and do a row of high density commercial right there, just to kind of see what this brings in. And this is more tax income too, which is good. And then I do want to get rid of the zoning for our plaza. Just think having those buildings in there kind of looks weird, especially since we're going to end up doing the concrete. And that way we can kind of let these come in. I really like this building. I think this building looks super cool. And it has some really good bonuses too. So plus 10 park entertainment citywide, which is huge. Minus 10% disease infection risk, which is huge. And so I think what I'm going to do now is jump into a detailing time lapse, and I'm just going to wrap up this whole area. I'm going to come over here and clean up some of this area as well. And then I think on the next episode, we're going to end up playing into this whole area. This really wasn't part of the plan, and so I was going to build it out kind of just on the fly, but I'd rather at least put some time into thinking about it before I just kind of jumped into it. And so I hope you guys enjoy the detailing time lapse, and I will see you on the other side. Okay, and so after quite some time, I am finished. And the first thing you're going to notice is that the game is rather gray. We are in the throes of winter now, and one of the biggest things between summer and winter in this game is the temperature. And so they tend to make it just look really blue in the winter, and they tend to make it look really yellow in the summer, which is something I'm not a huge fan of. My goal is by the next episode, which is going to be Sunday, we will have the Weather Plus app and probably Lumina or Preserve Photo mode working again. Preserve Photo mode was deprecated with the creation of Lumina, which Lumina does work pretty well in certain circumstances. It tends to make things look a little oversaturated, but I think I may end up just using that instead. But let's go ahead and check out what I did. So I mainly focused on this plaza area, as you guys could see in the time lapse. I went kind of crazy with it. I really wanted to create like some fun spaces for people to be able to like meet, maybe grab a coffee with somebody, kind of enjoy the stay. I did a big fountain, which I didn't end up doing any benches around this. I'm wondering if maybe I kind of should. But I think overall this looks really good. I think maybe even adding in a few things of parking probably would have been smart. I wonder if maybe we can fit in just a small one in here. Nope, we can't. And so maybe that's something that we'll work on the next episode. And then I did come over here and make some changes as well, put some trees in, and then I added in some more industrial just along the backside. And then as I was doing that, I was like, you know what, we can actually make a road connection. So this actually provides some really good accessibility over here, especially since this is kind of the only crossing, this and this. And so now trucks would be able to kind of travel back and forth, and people walk in like to and from work too, if that was something that people were doing. And so I think this is a really cool fix. It does look like maybe we need to jump in and move it and just lift this up just a smidge. Maybe 2 smidges. Yeah, there you go. And then, of course, some trees miraculously appeared in the middle of our road, which we do not want. And then last but not least, coming over here, I didn't really do too much. I just wanted to do some bushes, kind of clean it up, make it look professional. And I like this. I like this a lot. I think my biggest gripe right now is just that this is the only train station we have. I really want to get like a grand, end of line train station. And then you can kind of see we are getting a little bit of a backup with all these cargoes. But one of the nice things with the cargoes now is that they are getting taken off of the main rail line. And so they're no longer blocking, which is really nice. And there is enough room in here to allow one to wait while one's turning around, which is cool. And they're all just kind of turning around for our cargo hub over here. And so we definitely have a few issues in relation to Economy 2.0. You can kind of see we're definitely starting to get garbage pile up around our services. And I believe they had kind of messed with the priority for garbage a little bit. And so what we need to do is probably upgrade with a recycle center down here, or over here somewhere. We do need to pay attention to wind. One thing that I did end up doing in between episodes, I moved our industrial waste complex over here because we were just getting a lot of pollution that was kind of blowing into our residential area here, which I didn't really like. And so we may end up, because if you go over here, where's that big one? Yeah, so it was high. So I'm thinking we could probably do a recycle center over here and have it work out rather well, and possibly even have it just fit in this same spot. But then also education as well. So our whole education system has been rebalanced with Economy 2.0. And you guys can kind of see our high school is just lacking. And so we're going to need to do a big overhaul. We need to add in a couple colleges. We need to add in at least a few small universities and probably the big one. We haven't utilized the tech university yet. And so I think that this is going to be really fun. This is what we're going to be doing on the next episode. And so if you enjoyed this episode, you will definitely enjoy the episode on your screen. And thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next one.